what are the three biggest design trends or stories that you see in Singapore or the region at the moment?
Well, I can't say for sure the design trends. Actually, what we do is we don't really follow any trends. The reason for that is actually, if you look at interior design as a whole, there's a lot of trends going on and from different designers. It could be influenced by the environment, it's influenced by the culture, it's influenced by the client. So what we do is actually a style, right? What we try to inject is our own personal style. And it's client driven. It's also our personality injected to it. So for example, in our philosophy, we try to have a more fun element into it. We like to reinvent certain things. We inject something quite indigenous or the vernacular. We try to twist the norm or how certain things are perceived to be. These are the things that clients or the guests or the public will certainly remember, rather than you just stick to a trend. We'd like to create mashups, whether it's function, mixing different things together, different colors, aspects of contrast, and technology. And these are the kind of things that is very, very interesting. Of course, now it's the social media. So, of course, analyzing as well how people use spaces, items, and lastly, it's just fun, being yourself, projecting your individuality or personality into the design.
Okay.
So you were talking about styles. Where do you get your inspirations for these styles and ideas?
Okay. Interesting enough, we take inspiration from tremendous amount of things. It could be from a game that my daughter is playing. It could be something that I find in the internet. It could be something I bumped into the street. Inspiration comes in different ways. It could be a pattern we see, an image from a screen. What we try to do is a certain element can be transformed into something quite unique. I mean, we have projects where the inspiration is basically an old puzzle, and we transform that puzzle to become a functional element, a pattern. And it's funny how you can really reinvent that pattern into different ways. We take inspiration from startup technology websites such as Kickstarter, and you will see a lot of technology are being invented on a daily basis, and you can apply that in a various way. I mean, how you basically merge that within the design, that's, I think, the key. That's how you become clever. And wireless chargers, putting it into something unexpected, and how people use it.
So maybe if you can get a little bit more specific about colors or materials or how you would apply these things that you see emerging from maybe startups.
Right. Yeah. Well, now we go a bit bold. I mean, nowadays the style is more on getting an edgier approach. Bold colors are very important, but when I say bold, you need to contrast it with something quite neutral. We're getting a bit bold on the details as well, where the furniture has a certain stitch or patterns are getting more on an innovative way. For example, using traditional materials or standard materials in a reinventive way. How do you reinvent that? How do you challenge the material to expose its natural character? I think people start to appreciate it more. And we find that it's applicable to different culture and different industry. Certain fabrics we tend to love because of its tactile quality, and people will always remember these tactile experiences rather than having something quite just clean and the word timeless is so generically used by everyone, but what does it really mean? I mean, Does it really mean that it's just a monotonous color? Is it just using standard details, or is it something that is quite fresh and edgy, and yet it reflects, it will still evolve a certain time for people to enjoy it?
Are there any particular kitchen or bathroom trends that you see emerging, or tendencies or styles?
Okay. Well, bathroom design has been there for hundreds of years, right? People have used bathroom in a similar way. So the challenge nowadays are the footprint of the hotels, which we are specializing in, are getting smaller and smaller. So how do we plan that in a more unique way? So you have to be more innovative. You have to find certain things that can merge together. When I say that, it sounds generic, but let me be more specific. For example, and this is just on top of my head, I mean, why are basins always used the same way? I mean, basins are indeed used the same way, but do we need a basin mixer, right? Why can't a basin be the basin mixer by itself? You know, you can use, you got water, you got air. These are things that are already there. But why are we not using them and integrating them with a certain element? Showers, we always relate shower as, getting ourselves wet. But if we're going for a sustainability issue, why can't we just make the showers into a wet and dry area, where I go into the shower cubicle and I can be dry when I come out? But these technology are already there. It's just how we are going to merge them together. For example, sound, we're integrating sound into sanitary fixtures. We're integrating technology. So finding ways to make things a lot simpler, embracing technology, and that would make a bathroom more interesting. Kitchen, the same way. So in terms of design and in terms of functionality as well.
So how do the global trends influence your personal style?
Okay. First, global trends. Yes, we've done certain philosophy to guide us in terms of how we design. We like some keywords. For example, we like it to be individual, intriguing, and using the vernacular. So these are three key things that we tend to use. We like to have a personal identity, but it's not meaning we have to have our character inside it. It's more on our personal philosophy inside that design. We like what I call folding and unfolding. So we like spaces that emerge into something different. Guests love to experience something different. It's basically creating something that will emerge into something unexpected. We like to energize spaces. We like to create mashups. So you got the contrast between something old and new, something bold and something neutral, the expected and the unexpected. So I think the global design trend influenced us to create these much more interesting spaces. Design is about carving spaces. It's not just about designing a material to make it look nice, because that will be just skin deep. What we want is to carve spaces that are energized, then you design around it. Then that makes your design really, really effective and makes people really remember it. And that's about it. Okay. So I think the question is, who am I? A lot of designers, or I would say design leaders, tend to label themselves in a certain way. Maybe it's about their style, maybe it's about how they approach things. So in my philosophy, it's about making myself as a coach or as a father. I'm a father to a young daughter, and I'd like to think of myself as having two families where I basically guide them. So my success as a design individual is not by my own creativity. It's about the creativity brought upon by this team, this creative talent, and how each talent adds into this picture. Whether this guy is very good in technical, or this guy just thinks out of the box, or this guy is very good in furniture design. It's how to basically balance them and create something quite unique and to inspire them. So my role is more on leading them. You know, the true talent is within this family. So each play a very key part. Not a single one is missing. And if one is missing, then the entire mixture gets bad. I mean, I always relate my industry with the culinary as well. So think of it in layman's term as a chef, where basically the cooks all come up with this recipe and everything blends in together, and we do it at the back where we're not noticed, right? People don't see us doing this, but once we present it to the public, in a well-presented plate, people get to experience it, people get to taste it, people get to enjoy it, and that's basically me. Okay.
Thank you so much.